Hey everybody, I'm going to make a different kind of video this time, and we're going to be going over how I built my list for my last battle report, the 1850 point game against Space Marines. First of all, I should let you know that I've been in that game. I didn't have any idea of who I was going to play, what army I was going to play against, or what kind of missions we were playing. So I had no idea we were going to be playing some BAO stuff. So I just kind of built a generic all-comers list. But I wanted to do something. I wanted to start with my Warbike Star from the previous video. So we got a War Boss, and of course we gave him a bike, a Power Claw, Boss Pole, and Lucky Stick. So, and all together that model came to 130. I'm going to put down the individual points. And of course then we went with a Pain Boy on a bike. Now I left off the Boss Pole on purpose because I wanted to save some points. So that's a 75 point model. So I knew I was going to Warbike Star, so for my troops I had to come up with next. So I just went with two basic units. So I went with 30 Slugger Boys, and heavy armor, if I can write, with a knob, the PK, and Boss Pole. So the Slugger Boys came to 340. And then we're going to add in a unit of 30 Shooter Boys. With heavy armor. Ooh, I didn't put the rockets in. Yes, I did. Again, heavy armor. 3 rockets. PK and Boss Pole, just like before. And with the extra shooters, that comes to 385. So here's my chance to, now I have to determine if I want to stick with like a combined arms detachment or if I want to add in a third HQ and go with the Orc Horde detachment. And I decided to go with the Orc Horde, and instead of doing a second Pain Boy to get one of the bombs, feel no pain, I decided to go with a Weird Boy, just for fun. And of course made him level 2. He is 70 points. So now that we have the Orc Horde detachment, and this is strictly in for fun, because again I didn't know what was happening, what was going to be playing, so why not take in a level 2 Psyker for an extra couple dispel dice. So now we need an extra unit of troops to make up for it, so we just went with Tingrots, just to fill up the space. Okay, so now we know we're going to run Warbike Star, so let's go ahead and add the Warbike unit. So we've got 15 Warbikes. Doesn't show up. 15 Warbikes with a knob, Power Claw, and Boss Pole. And that unit together came to just 310 points. That's why they're so good, because they're only 310 points for the full unit. Okay, so now what? So we got the Warbike Star that I intended to play with, which was the War Boss on a bike, Pain Boy on a bike, and Warbike Mob. Got my troop choices settled out, and I got my third HQ choice. And also for fun, I decided to go ahead and add a mech, just because I want an extra character in there. Again, I didn't know what I was going to be facing, so having an extra character to suck up some challenges is never a bad idea. So that's where I went with that. So what's left to do now? Now we've got to try and figure out some things we might be facing and some answers for it. And basically now we're all going to move to the heavy support slots. And this is where getting some variety in here, or getting something to back up these units, because the way to play the Warbike Star is to just be super aggressive. And so having something to sit back, you know, I got the Grots to take an objective, and just having some units to sit back, I think to provide some fire support for these units is a great idea. So I started with 15 Ludas, and one of which is a mech, just to have that character in there. And that unit has dropped a little bit, just 210 points. And now we wanted some anti-air, some more anti-air. So we went with mech guns, because mech guns are just awesome. We went with 2 tractor cannons. With ammo runs. Just went with 2 because it was only 1850. I was trying to get some more stuff in here. So that unit is a whopping 66 points. And now we're going to go with some more support here, and we're going to go mech guns again for our 3rd heavy support slot. This time we're going to 4 Labas with runs, of course. And again, that's 84 points. As long as I'm taking the Ludas and the mech guns, I need my Aegis. I don't need it, but I want it. So, and an Aegis for 50. So that's where I stopped. I got everything I really want in the list. I came up to just 1,810 points for all this. So now we've got a super duper fast aggressive unit. We've got a big blob of 60 boys backing them up, and then just some great fire support to sit in the back. And so for depth points, only 40 points left. I just had to go with a 2nd unit of 10 Grots. Pretty easy, pretty obvious as far as I'm concerned for that price. I could add another mech gun. I could have added a 3rd tractor cannon for that price. But I think the extra scoring unit, especially since I don't have objectives secured and everything else is going to be running super aggressive, having 2 units to sit back on objectives is a great idea. So that was my thought process in building up this list. So again, I started with a goal, which was to run my Warbike Star, which is right here. Pain Boy. Can you even see the Pain Boy up here? Oh. Trying to frame this thing a little bit. Okay. So the Pain Boy, and then over here we have the War Boss. So that is my Warbike Star. And the uses for this, I went over the whole video, 18 minutes of talking about the Warbike Star, and it does work out that way. It really does. And again, just like as I said, backing up that Warbike Star is nothing better than a bunch of boys. So Warbikes will come up, be super aggressive, soak up a lot of shooting, soak up assaults, weaken with, and really occupy your opponent for a good amount of time while these boys are marching up into position to just come in and just kick everyone's butt. And at the same time, you're pounding them at range with your Ludas and your Labas, because 4 Labas are so good even against power armor. You're just putting so many wounds on things, especially with 4 shots, that you have plenty of wounds to save. Total of 1,835 points. You know, I could have come up with 5 points somewhere. I could have added the boss full back or whatever, but it really didn't matter. And so Grots for scoring units, these guys for being the backups to the Warbikes. The Warbikes start doing all the heavy work, at least at the beginning of the game. A Weird Boy just for fun. A mech, again, since I didn't know what I was going to be facing, I might have to deal with some characters. Lots of challenges, so that's what the mech was there for. Ludas, 14 Ludas and a mech sitting behind the Aegis. And you've got 2 awesome tractor cannons and 4 awesome Labas for just some great fire support sitting there behind the Aegis while everything else is running up. So that was really my entire thought pattern for building this particular 1,850 point list. Because I knew I wanted to run the Warbike Star, and I didn't know what I was going to be playing. But this is definitely a great all-comers list that can deal with pretty much anything that isn't 4 Nurgle Demon Princes or Night Titans. That's the one thing, you know, if I'm going to face Night Titans, you've got to have Meganobs. Meganobs are really the only successful way to deal with Night Titans in the Orc Codex. I mean, Ludas might be able to kill one eventually, but I think I calculated to like 100 shots or something like that to take down a Night Titan with Ludas. Could hypothetically do that in through 2 or 3 turns, but Night Titans are so fast they're going to be in your face before that happens.
Yes.
So, well, that's about it for this video. So this is List Building 101. How to decide what to take if you spend for an all-comers list. And if you want to start with something, this is the kind of list where I started with ideas. I wanted to run the Warbike Star, and then I just kind of filled in everything else around it. And this is definitely not the only way to build a list. I mean, if you want to just try and take the best units you can do that way. Or you can go into a specific competitive environment, like say where you're going to be dealing with Night Titans in almost every game. Then you want to be able to build for that. But this is the way I built this list, and I think it was great. It does everything I wanted to do. It provides so much variety in the way I handle units. I can shoot at them, I can run up and kill them, I can march up and intercept them, whatever I need to do. And having the Weird Boy, again, it gives you a little bit of psychic defense, and it's just fun because I love summoning demons with my orcs. So that's it for this video, and let me know what you think. And if you like this format, I can definitely do more. Thanks for watching.